Hero shaved his hair, and I'm balding. So now we're in the present, finally. The courtroom bombing incident, a terrible attack launched by the will of a madman. That incident perfectly symbolized the state of the legal world in this dark age of the law. Mr. Wright brought it to a resolution of sorts.
It's also auto doing this, by the way.
Head Donate was discovered to be the one responsible for the bombing. If only it were that simple. Somehow I can't help but think.
Because we still don't know what happened to that remote detonator.
That there's a darker influence at work. One that's lurking in the shadows, waiting. That's why I want to review the trial that was taking place when the bombing occurred.
Oh.
After all, I've got more than a few personal stakes in it.
So we're going to the trial that was going on when the bombing went off.
Okay. So...
Oh, what?
One hour remaining until launch. Please begin your final equipment check.
Check complete. Everything's A-okay. We're ready here whenever you are.
Is that Yuri? Is that Yuri's voice?
Come in,
I don't know.
Come in. Do you copy?
Do you copy?
Double?
Might have been one accident. Oh, stabbed.
Oh.
Single, but it's probably going to be pinned on the person who was laying beside him.
Oh, we're just going right into a trial. Okay.
December 16th, 9:12 a.m. District Court. Defendant Lobby, number 5. Time for another trial to begin. But this one is different.
Sorry to bother you, but... Are you alright, Apollo?
Ah! Was I making a scary face just now? Oh, hi, Juniper. Yes, I'm fine. I was just doing my Chords of Steel exercises. Now I'm all ready to go!
Yes. Knowing you, I'm sure you'll be just fine. Oh, I brought you a present from my garden.
Is this a lotus root?
The lotus root! That's right. My grandma says lotus roots are good for your eyes. She even says that if you look through the holes, it can help you see into the future. It's for good luck. Maybe later you can cook it.
Thanks for this. I'm going to have some right now.
Oh my!
Crunch. Kind of tough, though.
You can't eat it raw, but thank you for the enthusiastic try.
Oops, if she didn't think me weird before, she will now. I've got to calm down. Is it safe to eat raw? Let's check.
I think it's okay to eat it raw, but like it's
probably not too palatable.
Yeah.
Apollo, I'm sorry I'm late.
Hi, Athena.
Junie, I didn't know you were coming today. Did you come to cheer Apollo on? Oh, I get it. You sly little thing. You. Ha ha ha.
Athena, stop.
Quit kidding around, Athena. The trial's about to start any second. Is everything all set? Oh, Apollo. When will you ever figure it out? Figure out what? Wow, that was the longest sigh I ever heard.
Ugh. This is it. It's all over for me. They're gonna find me guilty.
This is our client, one Mr. Solomon, Sol Starbuck.
So he's the son. Got it.
Yep. He's a very famous astronaut who happens to be an acquaintance of mine.
Oh, is this?
Oh, there's his friend.
Well, Athena said she would never meet him. That's the way it was worded at the end of the last case.
Mm-hmm.
A promise Apollo would never get to keep.
Could have been a trio of friends, but
Maybe.
you wouldn't know right now, but he's usually a very upbeat and driven person. The scene of the crime this time happened to be Cosmos Space Center. Back in high school, my best friend and I almost went there almost a little too much.
It was like a totally different person there.
But that's where we met Mr. Starbuck. Yeah, he looks more ready to be Kaito. We'd ask you about space travel, and he'd launch into story after story with so much passion.
Okay, so I guess it kind of looks like a trio. It's like he's the person they met at there, and then Apollo and his friend were friends there.
So his friend probably died. Back in those days, the man was 100% my hero.
You sure you're okay with being my lawyer, Apollo?
Of course I'm sure. I know you, Mr. Starbuck. I know you're not the type to commit murder.
Thanks, but... I was supposed to be in space right about now.
It's just a long-ass group.
I
I like this guy. He's so depressed, it almost seems like an act. The launch getting called off must have been a huge shock.
probably never get the chance to go into space again.
Don't say that. Don't stop believing.
Don't stop believing.
Well, well, well. Besides, you just have to go into space again.
Yeah. I don't think I could face the Clay in afterlife if it just rotted away in a cell.
Yep, there's
Clay
friend.
Tehran, I believe he was murdered.
Yeah, cause look at his picture. That's definitely the coat Apollo was wearing before. That's 100%
Yeah, it totally
the
is.
coat.
I mean, he was such a promising astronaut under your command.
Yeah. He was a good guy. Always there to pick me up when I was down. No one loved life as much as him, that's for sure. He was so full of energy, telling me, "You're fine, Mr. Starbuck." How could something like this happen to a guy like him, huh?
I've never seen Mr. Starbuck so down.
I'm having fun doing this size. DK!
I'm Shiro's replacement, Earl. Nice to meet you.
Clay's gone. I'm going to prison. I wish I could burn up like a shooting star right now.
Mr. Starbuck, you'll be fine. Nice to meet you too.
What is it? What's the yelling?
Perfect thumbnail. I'll get to the bottom of this today. You'll see. Lamafo, laughing my ass for real, yo. And in exchange, I want you to go back into space for you and Clay. Promise?
Does that mean you have lots of evidence to prove my innocence?
Oh. Well, about that.
Also, I just noticed the way his hair is, it looks like a rocket. You got
It
the
is.
tip of
It
the
totally
rocket,
is.
and then you got the fins of the rocket there.
That's actually amazing. We didn't get to investigate the area as much as I'd like, thanks to the police.
I'm done for. I'm a goner. Everybody thinks I did it.
So, I was gonna soar like a comet, but I'm just gonna get crashed like a meteorite.
No, don't say that, Mr. Starbuck. Don't count yourself out yet. I know it's hard to lose a teammate, but you gotta keep going. And what about you, Apollo? What about me? I was just thinking, wasn't Clay your best friend?
There it is. Confirming it.
We need to focus on the trial right now. Are y'all ready to go? Apollo.
Trial's about to begin. If the defense would please proceed to the courtroom.
Okay, here we go. This is it. This is the one trial I can't afford to lose. For Clay's sake and our clients, I will find Clay's killer.
December 16th, 9:55 a.m. District Court, courtroom number 4.
Well, we're just thrust into it. This reminds me of the one case with the one prisoner with the girl. Like, this is just the interim case.
Yeah. Kinda.
Yeah. Court is now...
You're referring to
Go
Terry
ahead.
Falls, right?
Yeah. Court is now in session for the trial of Solomon Starbuck. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Is eyeball too?
He has the eye patch at this point. So that's not from the bombing, then.
No. Before. Excuse me, Mr. Justice. Yes, Your Honor.
The judge is going to call him like, what's with the eye patch?
What happened to your eye? I'm fine. The defense is ready, Your Honor.
That's not the question, Apollo.
You'll be found in contempt right there, man. Are you sure? I don't.
We don't know, DK.
We don't know where he was at the incident.
Because when this game first started, like, we were like a couple days ahead of where this case is taking place, and he had it, and he'd just gotten injured during a bombing.
Yeah,
So, like,
so we assumed it was the bombing.
We'd assumed that was a bombing, and now we're seeing this. Now we're like, what? Because the case before, he didn't have it. So, like, something between the previous case and this case happened, and it caused him to injure his eye or something.
I'm fine, Your Honor. The defense is ready.
Not the question, Apollo.
I'm sorry, Your Honor. He's been like this since yesterday. He keeps insisting it's just a sty. I suppose it's something he doesn't want to discuss.
Wait, hold on a second. Okay, I was gonna say, like, did Clay have one?
Ace, he was a
Like
Hat 2
Karen?
crew member and a close friend of mine. Maybe he's entering a touchy age. Very well, and the prosecution?
What do you think, Your Honor? I've been standing here with my back turned waiting for you to stop asking Apollo about his relevant eye patch. Will we get on with it? Just do your opening statement already.
Prosecution appears to be ready as well. I guess we get to make his opening statement.
Silence, Earl!
Shush.
Allow me to stare at my chains real quick before Fulbright just shocks me for no reason.
Oh, this judge is,
Not yet.
he's a national treasure.
Not quite ready yet.
Really? He's not ready?
Really? Actually, yeah, what the hell?
Already?
He broke them immediately. What the fuck?
Instantly.
There must be something perplexing about this case that he can't wrap his head around. There's got to be something goofy. What the fuck?
There's a bomb transport case.
The prosecution is now ready.
Okay. Well, it didn't take him long this time.
Okay, so for context, DK, he is a prison inmate that, from context, he killed someone and he was convicted. However, they're still making him serve his duties as a prosecutor for some reason. So he has to show up in chains, but he just breaks the chains every time anyway.
There's not one case where he didn't break it.
Yeah,
This one just happened to be really soon.
Yeah, this one happened immediately. But also, there is like shockers in the braces, which he has not broken off. And one of the detectives can just come and just press a button and do like.
It'll just.
Oh, yeah, I don't recall if they actually mentioned he's on death row.
They never mentioned death row.
Yeah, I don't. So, if Pokérel, if you just spoiled us, I'm mad at you.
I read that. What's up with Blackwell? Now then, I shall give the opening statement.
Silence.
Again,
Silence.
Out of order. Is he gonna do it this time?
I'll do it.
Oh my god, what the fuck is happening?
What is happening?
You will? What an unexpected surprise. Maybe his case is kind of out there.
This time, I can't leave it to anyone else.
I see. Something is off with the two of you today.
There is nothing wrong. What are you talking about? This is perfectly normal.
Wait, what if he rules Apollo as a suspect? You both seem different somehow.
Where's the bailiff? The bailiffs don't typically show up, like, physically in this game, other than outside in the defendant lobby.
Yeah, they're always, they're there, but they're not shown.
Yeah. Also, I did see some people pointing out, and I didn't pay enough attention to this, but if you look back here, you got this woman right here, and then right behind her, the exact same outfit, just turned differently. And then you got, like, this guy's right here. He's also same outfit right there, but it's a different head. Like, with how few of these there are, you think they could have just made more. Oh, no, DK, there's more on the other side of the courtroom.
They're like 360 view. It's 3D. Very well, Prosecutor Blackwell. Your opening statement, if you would.
It was just yesterday. The crime in question occurred at the Cosmos Space Center.
Ah, the famous federal research facility of all things related to astrology, right?
Astronomy is astronomy. It's astronomy. Anyway, a rocket was set to launch from there. But at 9:28 a.m., before they could even move the rocket to the launch site, two explosive devices were detonated, and the launch was cancelled.
My word, 2 bombs? How dreadful.
The defendant in today's trial is charged with both the bombing and with murder. Mr. Solomon Sussberg. For whatever insane reason he detonated a bomb on the rocket himself, he himself would be.
Solomon Starbuck, I recognize that name. Isn't he a famous astronaut?
Correct, your boldness. Mr. Starbuck was the pilot of the HAT-1 rocket 7 years ago. As you may recall, despite some interstellar trouble, his mission was a success.
I thought he said he didn't go to space.
No, he's been to space before, but he should have been in space right now if not for the...
Yeah,
Nancy.
okay. Oh, I remember now. He's become something of an international celebrity, right? They even turned that into a movie and everything.
Mankind's hope for the future. I've got to make it back alive. The HAT-1 Miracle, a moving and thrilling documentary in 3D. Come along on a captivating space odyssey that will take your breath away.
You got a real space pioneer in court today.
But even heroes tumble from their lofty heights.
Returning to a subject at hand.
Ah, yes, the victim was one Mr. Clay Turan, a subordinate of the defendant.
I hit that so quick, but you got it. Indeed, a loyal disciple brutally stabbed to death by his mentor.
Stabbed to death, you say? You mean his death wasn't a result of the bombing?
Correct. Despite his lofty dreams, the victim was seen in as an interloper by the defendant. And so he was sent not into space, but to the universe which we mortals cannot see.
Wait. I think I've heard enough. The case seems pretty clear-cut at this point. However, there's one thing I'm curious about. That metal neck box next to the witness stand probably has the bomb in it. Look at the number.
Yep. So, like, yeah.
Wait, no.
This is Ted Tonate's case, so he's probably about to show up again because this is beforehand. But I don't think the bomb's in there, like, fully in there yet, because I think there's obviously going to be a second day to this.
Yeah.
So
what purpose does it serve exactly?
The courtroom bombing is happening tomorrow, probably in game wise.
He is Ted Donate is a high-ranking bomb official, so he has a carrying case that can make it pass.
Yeah, this is exempt because of evidence, but I actually heard like a lawyer seem to set up, and like that bomb would never be brought into the courthouse. It would never be brought. Like they have evidence, so like have a bomb expert come in and discuss it, but the bomb itself would never be brought into the courtroom. Never. Since you asked so nicely, it's your coffin.
Ah! Have mercy on me! He leaves.
I jest. It's evidence. Due to its immense size, we've little choice but to lay it where it rests now. We'll get to the contents of the box in due time.
Phew, I feel like I just lost 50 years of my life. Does he even have 50 years left?
Probably not.
Inner monologue, Athena. Inner monologue.
Enough jabbering. Bobby Fulbright's the name, and justice we trust.
Ah, Detective Fulbright. Very well then. Please explain the details of this incident to the court, if you would.
Where's Candace? Wasn't she a detective on this case? Because she was one dealing with Ted and the bomb. On it. First, take a look at this pamphlet from the Cosmos Space Center. In it, you'll find a diagram outlining the overall layout of the Space Center. Ah, here we are. For a more detailed look on what's on the left side of the building.
I just had a thought. You know who is out of chains right now, right?
Well, he still technically has them on, it's just chain linking them is broken.
And in the opening animation of this game, the bomb goes off. Where does he go?
Probably out. they probably keep an eye on him, but like he does leave the courtroom part.
I think he escapes. I think that's highly possible. Because he wasn't seen in the case after, and a new lawyer got pulled in.
You know, that could be an interesting setup for for the final case, where like he escapes, but like an incident happens and he gets put into defendant's chair again. And we defend him because he didn't actually do that crime. I could see that happening 100%. That's an Ace Attorney thing if I've ever seen it. Take a look at the cross-section that we, the police, have created. See the launch pad in the main building.
The launch pad is a square building and the rounded structure in the main building, right?
You got it. The incident took place in the launch pad 1. In launch pad 1. And the main building is main building's lounge. I'm using this diagram during my testimony. It'll make it easier for understand. Also, real quick, we're gonna. I just noticed we had the autopsy. We're gonna peek that real quick.
Yeah.
Oh my.
Hmm.
What?
Seems like there's something underneath that capsule.
What's that capsule over there?
Water seems good. His tag is wet. There's like a pipe that's not connected to something on his suit.
Why is one of his
On
gloves off?
Gloves off too.
One of his gloves is off. His zipper is kind of like turned sideways.
Maybe someone's trying to frame it as a suicide. On his neck.
We don't know yet, DK. We don't know if he's left or right-handed. So cause of death,
But it's something
stabbing. The victim was discovered in the third floor boarding lounge in the main building. Interesting. Obviously, we got this diagram.
So they just made it down the hallway.
Just before the rocket was set to launch, 2 bombs went off. Boom! Boom!
Separate time or the same time?
I think the way it was worded, it might be separate.
Oh, there's one in the lounge at the second floor on the elevator.
One on the second floor of the Space Center's main building, and one in the launch pad.
Okay.
Thankfully, only 2 astronauts were in the launch pad, one at the time. 2 of them managed to make it back as far as the boarding lounge. But after the escape, one of the 2 was found stabbed to death.
Oh, a murder on top of a bombing? Detective, the victim was already dead by the time you arrived at the lounge, correct?
Yep. Thinking he'd sabotage the bomb, and the defendant killed him right there in the rocket. Just took as this tractor photo.
Oh my, is that a knife in the victim's chest?
Also, stabbing through a spacesuit like that, I don't think is that easy.
A little difficult.
Because those spacesuits are thick. Oh no, Pokegirl, I'm terrified. Yes, Your Honor. It's the knife that cruelly ended the young man's dreams. Couldn't find any prints on it, though, because the defendant was wearing a spacesuit.
By the way, Detective Fulbright, why are the victim's helmet and right glove absent in the photograph?
We had to remove them to identify him, Your Honor.
Why didn't you remove the glove for that?
Why would you not? Where's the crime scene photo from before that, though? You'd think you'd take a picture of the scene as it was, then like start trying to remove stuff to figure out who it is. Why would you try to figure out who it is first and take a picture after everything you've already removed? Like what? The person has moved his glove during the investigation. We had to get his fingerprints to confirm his identity, after all.
They couldn't do that from the face? Yes, it'd be very difficult to identify him without a face or fingerprints. But they have a face.
They would know like, the workers there would just know it's him.
Now, there's just one more thing I'd like to inquire about. What is this round thing next to the victim in this photo?
Something so important to the victim, he took it with him as he escaped the launch pad. A capsule that apparently contains asteroid samples.
There's no touch.
No touchy. Well, obviously valuable for research purposes. It has no relation to this case. I doubt it.
I see. So we know that the bomb in the main building was on the second floor. But where was the bomb that was in Launchpad 1 located?
That one was on the rocket itself. It was situated around the central part of the rocket. Apparently, the area around the launch pad's elevator was a sea of flames. I'd like to submit a diagram important to the record.
The trials just started and we're already in a bind. No, we're not.
Explosive sparked a fire on the second floor of the main building in the middle of the launch pad near the elevator.
Where were they, is my question. You get used to it. Besides, that's what cross-examination is for, right? What the 2 astronauts were doing during the bombing. That'll be key. I would press the first one because we need more info.
Well, these are just him explaining. I think we need to talk about where they were. I want to press this one real quick.
Are you sure it was only the 2 of them?
It was just before the spaceship was set to launch, so of course it was only those 2.
Well, there could have been somebody else inside that rocket.
Silence!
Silence, Apollo.
The notion of a third party in Launch Pad 1 is utterly absurd. Just enter the area from the lounge. One must pass through the door guarded by a fingerprint recognition device. Allow me to state up front that these are precious few were clearance to do so.
A fingerprint recognition device that sounds as futuristic and complex as a space center.
Hey, Ichi. Actually, it's not amazing as you think, Your Honor. Take a look at this photo.
Yep.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Fulbright? Are you sure that you took the glove off? Are you sure about that? Something seems off. Because like, why would they need to identify him? He would have to have his prints to be there. We would know who it is. But yeah, I just immediately have a problem with that. Oh yeah,
Can I look at the photograph of the door there real quick?
Yeah. Wait a minute, I think I see something.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's a little hatch down there. That's one.
There's also
right,
that.
So we don't know.
There's also that button right next to the scanner too.
Big red button. Okay, let's go.
The personnel whose fingerprints are registered can pass through.
I see. That is very different from what I had in mind. And there's record of the number of people that passed through the door yesterday.
Yes, there were only 3. The defendant, the victim, and the director of the Space Center, Yuri Cosmos.
Well, there's our third person. Doesn't that mean it's possible that the director is the one who did it?
Not a chance. It was in the main building when the bomb exploded at 9:28. At 9:28.
So what? Just because he was somewhere else when the bombs went... You can remotely activate bombs, Blackwell.
Doing his job directing the launch. Besides having an alibi, he has no motive for committing these senseless acts.
Does Solomon have a motive? What's his motive here?
He has a point. I guess the director can't be considered a suspect then. As far as the boarding lounge, wouldn't that... Where's the boarding lounge?
The boarding lounge is right at the end of the walkway. So right where it says,
Yeah,
so you got the
lounge.
corridor, and like they made it there. That's where they found him.
And where's the fingerprint scanner? At the corridor?
Yeah, at the beginning of the I think it's the corridor where the corridor and the lounge are.
I would keep pressing. Maybe there's more information that we get.
Hold it!
How powerful were the explosions?
Well, one in the main building wasn't strong enough to bring the place down. But the room went off and burned black. Thankfully, nobody was hurt. Due in large part, of course, to me stepping up to lead the evacuation. Wait, what?
Why are you there?
Wait a minute. What? Also, he said like the room it went off. It looks like it's in an elevator. The way this diagram's set up.
Wait, what were you doing there in the first place, Detective Fulbright?
I'm Bobby Fulbright, hero of justice. I'll be there whenever and wherever people need my help. I'll go to the other side of the world or even the edge of the universe. That's not the question.
I'm not sure he knows how far that actually is. But I guess I'll leave that one alone.
Admirable decision, Justice Tono. Huh? What do you decide? Black Hole just read our minds. Huh? What do you decide?
Anyway, could you describe what it was like at the Space Center at the time?
Bomb cut off power to the central bank of elevators on the third floor lounge. If the power was cut off, that means the fingerprint sensor would not be on. Thus, you don't need to scan your handprint. The door would just be openable.
Yeah.
It was pushed back in there, I tell you. However, the security cameras and whatnot were on emergency backup.
And how did the evacuation go?
I immediately and heroically whisked people down to the Space Center's basement shelter.
The basement shelter?
Yeah, there's an emergency shelter beneath the Space Center.
An emergency shelter, huh? Oh, here it is. It's at the bottom of this diagram. The Space Center is pretty impressive to have its own shelter.
Evacuation report added to the court record. Let's see it. Let's look at that.
The power outage and evacuation seem unrelated to the murder at this point.
Police officers and riot police gave evacuation instructions immediately. There was a power outage and the affected areas remained dark. The security system switched over to emergency power and continued to work. Evacuees moved to the basement shelter.
Guess I'll leave that aside for now. So there were 2 explosions in total, correct?
Yep, that's right.
Hold it!
Let me get this straight. Mr. Starbuck rigged a rocket he was going to board with explosives.
Huh? What are you talking about?
If the defendant really did plant the bomb on his own rocket, he'd get caught in the explosion as well. Oh, I hadn't thought of that.
Fine. A simpleton for a simpleton. Fulbright, the motive. Understood. The defendant actually had astrophobia.
No, he didn't.
What? Did he actually go to space before? I don't remember.
He did, didn't he?
Did they
There's
specify?
there's a whole documentary on him.
But it doesn't mean it took place in space. Maybe don't go.
What are they saying? He faked the moon landing? Astrophobia? What's that?
Paulo, really? Come on. Fear of space, naturally. Just the thought of space can cause the afflicted to freeze up. So, in his terror, the defendant found a way to stop the launch at the last minute. If he had astrophobia, he would not be an astronaut.
That's absurd.
Unfortunately for you, we have evidence. Take a look at these. Drugs.
What are they?
They're anti-anxiety tablets we found among the defense possessions. They could be for any number of reasons. Apparently, he was taking them in secret to quell his fears. Yeah, what fear? Prove it. Prove he has astrophobia. I dare you.
There are a multitude of problems with the rocket Mr. Starbuck rode 7 years ago. Rumor has it threatened to crash a number of times as well. That was, of course, very traumatic for Mr. Starbuck.
Objection!
But that doesn't mean he'd go so far as to blow up his own ship.
Silence!
The defendant couldn't bear to mar his good name. Now could he? No, not after the media had brained him Soul Starbuck, space pioneer extraordinaire.
Are we gonna get that poster added to the court record at some point?
Yep.
Given these conditions, the defendant could hardly run away from some base mutt.
What, so that's why you think he resorted to the bombing?
Naturally, he constructed this act of sabotage in an attempt to blow up the space center, which would effectively abort the launch, but spare his reputation.
But it would get him accused of the bombing. Like, I feel like that's worse. Now I'm sure you understand why we have to bring up justice down George's crime. Okay, we did that one.
Hold it!
So while it would appear that the pair barely escaped with their lives, in actuality, one of them had already been murdered inside the rocket. That's the angle that the prosecution wants to push, correct?
You got it. In fact, that's what I've been trying to say this whole time. If the victim had been alive, he would have for sure tried to stop the bombing.
How would he get down the ladder? Is there any chance that Mr. Turan could have been killed before he boarded the rocket?
They're both alive and well at boarding time, and embarked under their own power. Their hearts full of hope and dreams of space.
And both their hopes and dreams were dashed.
If I may continue my explanation, after evacuation order was given, the defendant made his escape carrying the victim to make it look like a rescue.
Hold it!
And who was the first to find the victim?
There was two of them.
The Space Center director, Yuri Cosmos, and Detective Candace Arm.
Can she disarm the bomb? Who knows?
One of them was a detective.
Yep, Detective Arm specializes in bombings, you see. She was the director where we're ordering the evacuation following orders. We're also worried about the astronauts, so they hurried over to the boarding lounge. That's when they discovered the victim along with the defendant.
Two witnesses, huh? And one of them is a detective. I doubt either one would have anything to say that would help me. I think that pretty much covers the details of the case. Only the victim and the defendant were on the launch pad when the former was killed. If this is the truth, then only Mr. Starbuck could have carried out this crime. Little I could get out of him only hurt my case.
Justice, Dono. Foolish is a warrior who rushes headlong into battle. Preparation is an essential element of battle, although I advise you to take a gander at this.
What is it?
Footage from a security camera. As the two astronauts emerged from the bowels of the Launch Pad 1 corridor.
Oh, I see a contradiction right there.
Helmet's on for one.
Nope, that's not what I see.
Power's off on the security system.
You know
And he's
how they like covering faces and obscuring some stuff?
Yeah.
The person holding up the collapsed person is the victim. Look at the capsule in his hand.
True.
The guy, so it's the victim holding up the defendant here. They're trying to say it's the other way around.
He has a 50 on the ID number there too.
I don't think
So
that's relevant, but
It might be. It could be 50 units of air.
I'm just focused on this being carried. Like the victim always kept this with him.
Yeah.
So this has to be the defendant right here. So that means, like, not the prosecution's case is this just blew it open. We got this. The boarding lounge security camera captured their desperate escape. Now I will direct your attention to what the defendant is shouldering. What you can see is none other than the lifeless body of the victim. Objection! Bullcrap!
What? Can you do me a favor, and do we have the photo of the security scanner again?
I don't think we have it in the court record yet. No.
Okay. No, we do.
No, is it? We don't.
Right there. One back.
We don't have it.
We don't have it, but I need... Okay. Go one right. We can see from there.
But, yeah, I don't think we can pull up here. I'm sure they'll give it to us in a moment.
Yeah. Order, I say. This lines up exactly with what the prosecution has been asserting. I should have known Blackwell would have something like this ready.
There it is. Okay. Let's look at that.
Apollo. Okay, now go, and I want look at this photo.
I think I see what you mean. Oh wait, yeah, it's turned. You can see on the little image up there.
Yeah,
it got
that's
turned. There's that's an issue too. Clay, we're gonna avenge your death, buddy.
How exactly did they determine that Clay was already gone in that footage? Ah, I see what you mean. Whether Clay was still alive at the point is pretty crucial. Your Honor, please take another look at the footage. Isn't it possible that Mr. Train was still alive here? Mr. Starbuck was helping him? Why, I believe you're right. One man carrying the other's safety. What beautiful expression of friendship.
Silence! Perhaps that's what it looks like to a one-eyed, whooped head Dodar. But it only makes sense if the victim is a dead body.
What do you mean?
Fulbright, explain it to Justice Dono. You got it. Ready, kid? The murder had occurred in the lounge. Someone could have spotted it. Anyone can enter the lounge after all. But doing it while they're alone in a spaceship, that's a horse of a different color.
Objection!
But you can't deny that there's a possibility the murder could have happened in the lounge. And all that video shows is a man helping his fellow astronaut out.
Silence!
Silence, Justice Dono. Your assertion is based on emotion. It's based on your belief that Mr. Starbuck would surely help his own disciple. But you have no logical explanation as to why the victim could still be alive. I do.
Irk. Unfortunately, Mr. Justice, the prosecution is right. Your argument is lacking in sound logic. But it sounds perfectly logical to me. Well, Mr. Justice, if you have no further objections, I believe it's time to bring this cross-examination to a close.
Raise an objection, Apollo.
Objections? Well,
Hold it!
Okay, Athena, let's go.
Your Honor, The defense requests a little time to rethink and regroup. Given the facts, I'm not sure I see the need. What is it, Athena? It's just, there's something that's been bothering me.
If it isn't a defense stalling for time, as always. Very well. I'm feeling generous. You may have a small measure of time.
Yes.
You have 5 seconds.
What an ass.